Thank you. I'm being joined by my crew cast, who
question, but then if you have a question, just raise your hand. We'd love to hear from you. So, you know, this film is an ode to kindergarten teacher. You talked about it as a love letter to your son. At what point in the creative process did you think zombie attack was the way to do it?
When I was on a school excursion with him and his class as kindergarten teacher, we were driving a tractor train, and the tractor train stopped and the driver got off, and because there was something ahead that was sort of she was investigating, and that's when the idea came to me. It just got snowballed from there. And you know, I talked about this kindergarten teacher before and how amazing she was for my son too. At that moment when I thought, what if that was a zombie? How do we keep these kids alive? My next thought was, if he was with a certain kindergarten teacher to defend it, she would have been the perfect one. So similarly, you know, that's why the Beatles been cast in the movie as well too, because I would feel safe with my son. There was a zombie attack on the Beatles.
Do we have questions from the audience? Yes, please.
We saw a long list of zombie credits, like 500.
It's a question of how many zombies are in the film.
We had over 1,000 zombies from the extras, and they sat through hours and hours of makeup, and it was in the middle of the Australian summer, which was like over 100 degrees at times, so they were amazing, and all deserved a thank you in the end.
So you talked about how you tried to isolate the kids from the rather graphic nature of what was going on. How exactly did that work out while still having them involved in the shooting?
Well, there are lots of different ways. We had code words, so there was never any sort of profanity. What was something, you know what the code word is?
Fluffy duck was a big one. A lot of fluffy duck.
Yeah. There was a whole bunch of other ones.
Fudge,
yeah.
Fuck you.
There was also child welfare laws. That the line where Diesel says the naked man punched Uncle David in the nose because Auntie Sarah had a slutty vagina. We would have to do this thing to get approval in order to say it. We would have to say like 3 or 4 other lines and then bury it in there. So it was the naked man punched Uncle David in the nose because Auntie Sarah has a funny pineapple. The naked man punched Uncle David in the nose because Auntie Sarah has a funny tricycle. Then I would say the naked man punched Uncle David in the nose because Auntie Sarah has a funny vagina. And then say that, and then we say something else. So we had no idea what he was saying, but again, his parents brought him and just said,
an easy sell for the rights to her song. Since you're an indie film, did you get a deal on what I imagine is an expensive clearance?
She doesn't know about this. We would ask all of you not to tweet about it. Her agents are contacted.
We tried for a while to get the rights to that song. It was really important for me to have that song. We struggled for a long time, and then I don't know if you want to.
Well, okay, so when I got the script, I loved it, and one of the things I loved about it was Shake It Off, because Shake It Off meant a lot to me. The year that it came out, I was having a really hard time professionally. I was in just a funk, and I was working abroad, and my best friend came to just cheer me up, and he played Shake It Off on his phone, and we just had a dance party in my bedroom. And so it meant a lot to me that this film had that. And so when I heard they were having a hard time, I wrote Taylor Swift myself and asked her, and I told her that story. And she said yes.
want to say I appreciate your decision to have the unlikely heroes from the youth to the kind of derelict uncle to the teacher. What led to your decisions to make sure you were putting these people who are not normally celebrated on the platform that we all can appreciate?
This is a question about the choice of the unlikely heroes in the film.
Yeah, and I think the most unlikely of the heroes is the role of Felix as well too, because he's the little boy that's been wrapped in cotton wool a little bit, and then bizarrely through meeting the character of Dave in all the Darth Vader stuff finds his confidence to and that's what we loved about Darth Vader too, which is it is the kind of broken sort of person wearing the armor as well too. There's something about, and that was another thing that was really important for me to get back in the movie. The two most important things that are very, very personal to me and my son too are Shake It Off and Darth Vader. I showed my son Spike Star Wars when he was 3.5 and he's obsessed with Darth Vader. So when he's old enough to see this movie, he'll appreciate why I wouldn't bring him to something like this.
Josh, the voice of a beloved children's character, is this role cathartic for you?
I'll answer that after Frozen 2 comes out. It's so fun. When I got the script, I was like, oh shit, I can't do this. And then, watching Abe's previous work, which if you guys haven't seen, it's a brilliant movie called Down Under. It became apparent to me that I had to do it because yes, it's crazy. Yes, there are these monsters out there, but the greatest monster is this representation of toxic masculinity inside his place. And honestly, it couldn't have come at a better time to deal with that as a villain. And immediately when I found out Lupita had signed on, this is literally the anchor to the movie right here. It was such an incredible journey, so much fun. So playing a character like this, while insane, and yes, it is very different than what I usually do, that is part of the reward of it. Let's keep that between us.
Yes, please.
Oh yes, I found the movie hilarious. I especially love the fight scene between Josh and Alex. And I especially love how Josh, he kept commenting on his weight.
That was all it. I just thought it was so funny that the fat guy would project. It was just so stupid. But we worked on that like the day of. Literally, like rehearsing the day of, right?
Yeah, we worked it up. We improvised a lot of the sequence with Abe's kind of guidance. Yeah, but
I just want to say we actually did have a full half day of rehearsal for that sequence.
Oh yeah, I blocked it out of my head. But one of my favorite movies is a movie called They Live by John Carpenter, which has the greatest fight sequence of all time. And when I read the script, there's this crazy ass fight in the middle of it. And I was like, we have to live up to that sort of thing. And so on the day of rehearsal, we were like, I was like, this stuff is great, can I break it? And I remember looking over at the prop guy, and when I said, can I break it? And I just saw, oh shit. It's a small budget. Come on, man. And I just threw everything down.
Hi. I just want to say you were all great in the movie, but my question is for Lupita. How do you feel like more comfortable doing drama characters or comedy characters?
Oh boy. Well, this was my first go at drama for the screen.
Black Panther, in her mind, is the funniest movie. She's a little confused. We're going to walk her through it after.
My first go at comedy on screen, and it was so much fun. It's different challenge, but I wouldn't be able to choose one or another. I love being able to, do one thing and then do something completely different. And I actually shot this film the same year that I shot Black Panther. So I went from that to this, modest budget over here. But I was ripped and ready to fight zombies, for sure. And I really enjoyed the challenge. One of the hardest things is to be the straight man when everybody around you is being so foolish, you know? And like, you know, Josh, a lot of Josh's lines are improv. And it was just so hard to just keep it together. It's just on and on. It's just like, oh my God, that was actually harder than anything else. Oh, wait. And also the children. Dealing with 11 children was no easy matter. But it was, I think this team was just so solid, and everybody got their A game, and we all fell in love with Abe's story, and it's cast and crew alike. It was a very happy set, so it was just really great to be there and, you know, do my bit.
I just want to say one thing about just comedy too, and what is great about these three in their sort of very central roles, and Kat Stewart, who plays Felix's mom. The reason that they work, there's some big comic performances, but all three of them are incredibly truthful actors, which is why I wanted the three of them in the roles. And for me, comedy, you can only do big comedy if it is grounded with truth and empathy. So I was so lucky to have this cast.
Thank you.
And also, one thing. I just want to say that working with Alex has also been quite something, because he plays a real idiot in this, and he's so good at being absolutely stupid. But he's like the most mature man, and so, you know, he would go in and out of being so dumb and being so intelligent, and that was quite something to just work with all the time. And he was such a reliable scene partner.
Just a couple more questions, yes.
My question is for the younger actors on the stage.
Yeah.
Do you guys, now that you've seen the movie that your parents somehow let you see, did you think it was scary? Did you think it was cool? What did you think of it?
This was my second time seeing it. It's not too scary because I've been on the set and everything, and I know it's fake. So it's not too scary, but some bits, like, you get shocked, like when you first see a zombie in a tractor, when it turns around and looks, was it Lupita or? Yeah, Lupita. And like, yeah, that was just like a little bit funny. So when I saw it, you know the part when we go on tractor for the first time, and then she goes in and sees the zombie eating the sheep. It's actually spaghetti in it. Spaghetti. It's actually spaghetti. I'm not lying.
Just one of the examples of the children, it was a real sheep that was just killed before.
Spaghetti for lunch. And then they shove it in there.
Killing me. I think we have time for just one last question back there.
I was just wondering, did you always know you were going to fill out your own gap, or was that like something that came up with you?
Yeah, who was your first choice, Abe?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that character had to die. I mean, some people ask us if he was going to come back as a zombie, but the real answer is Josh just didn't want to stay with us anymore.
I was like, look, you guys haven't paid me nearly enough to get that much makeup.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have. We have to ask for your patience and ask that you keep your seats and something.
Can I just say one thing really quick? You know, part of what this movie represents is shielding people from the real insanity in the outside world. And today something insane happened to a friend of mine and a friend of ours, Jussie Smollett. And I just want to say that we are all standing with him and we're all sending him lots of love. That kind of thing has no place in